Hey guys, and welcome back to Okami. Previously, we met up with Empress Himiko, or Queen Himiko if you want to be pedantic, and she tasked us with getting to Oni Island and doing something. I only really caught the gist of it because Richie was doing one of his story times, and God knows I'm only half awake during those bits. No, I'm kidding. I love it. I love learning different bits of Japanese folklore. Please, please don't leave me to do the playthrough on my own.
You see, I bet you thought that I wasn't going to say anything right there and that I'd gone forever, but no, I'm still here. I won't leave you to do it on your own, don't worry.
I just thought Discord cut out for a second there, so whoops. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, your ruse cruise backfired.
Damn it. So, you may have noticed, Wiimote freaking the frick out.
It is indeed.
And it's a really bad time for that to happen as well, because I'm about to do one of the most frustrating side quests potentially in the game, because it relies a lot on blooming, and obviously my Wiimote is not playing ball right now.
Whoa, that was one hell of a big circle.
It's ludicrous. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to manage to do what I'm going to manage to do, but there we go.
It's a post-playthrough, but what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that was... well, I was just going, what the hell? Honestly, even to this day, I don't know what the hell happened to my Wiimote during this phase. It didn't seem to be... it wasn't the batteries. It wasn't the sensor bar. I have no idea. I don't know whether it's because I was using the Wii Motion Plus one and it was fine, but then it started freaking out. I don't know whether I switched over ones, whether that helped or not, or whether it was just my Wii was deciding, no, today is not your day to be doing this.
Ah, he's recording, is he? Well, we'll see about that.
I seem to recall when I first played Okami, I didn't have a single issue with drawing anything. Obviously, by that I mean, I still had issues with getting brush techniques to pull off properly all the time. But in general, I never had anything like this happen. So when it occurred, I was just like, oh god, what's happened? Is there a scratch on my disc? Oh god, I can't finish the game like this. What's going to happen? Ah! Because it really freaked me out, because obviously I'd gotten so far into the game, I was just like, I can't not finish it.
Yeah, actually, speaking of getting far, once this parts are done, we're past the halfway mark of the Okami playthrough, because I believe it's 70 parts overall, including extras. Indeed
it is. So, we are halfway through.
Hooray! No, I'm enjoying the hell out of this playthrough, so it's all good on the hood.
Oh, and I just love it anyway, because I'm getting to do Okami. All HellfireComms!
Fuck what Anton thinks and feels. As long as I get what I want, it's fine.
Hey, you're getting free content, deal with it.
Wow, that is the best possible answer you could have thrown back in my face. Good on you, mate. I love a bit of Richie sass in the evening. What was that? Seriously.
This is Wiimote really not wanting to play ball.
Question mark indeed. Yeah, I'd be confused as well.
Like, honestly, I have no idea what's going on. The reason that I left this as it is because I just thought, you know what, it is kind of hilarious.
It will make Tom
if I manage
laugh.
to get through this, then that'll actually be quite an impressive feat. Like, beating back against technical issues to complete a side quest that I've always found to be really frustratingly annoying. But yes, to be able to do said side quest, we need to bloom every single tree that we possibly can in Seon City. That includes the one in Mr. Flower's house, and that includes the one on his head.
Ah, okay. Does it give you like a list of what you've done and whatnot, and like what's to come?
I'm pretty sure that he will tell you how many trees there are left to bloom.
Okay.
So, he will give you the running total. It's very much the same as Kamuso did in Kamiki Village, but this is directly associated with a side quest. yes, we're going to witness the Gura Shuffle, which, oh dear. So, some of the trees are cursed, and ultimately what's going to happen is Mr. Flower is going to do the Gura Shuffle, which is basically a poor man's version of the Orange Shuffle.
Okay.
And what you need to do is, as soon as he's finished that little dance move, you need to bloom the tree.
Oh boy!
He will have healed it of its affliction.
Yeah.
And then, yes. So the reason that this is such a difficult side quest is because Mr. Flower doesn't go in a nice, neat route through the city. He goes all over the place and randomly decides what trees he's going to stop at. And then you have to bloom it, and you have to bloom it in the exact right moment. If you fail, you're going to have to restart the entire string. That is incredibly frustrating, considering I'm currently dealing with really bad technical issues with my Wiimote.
I'll suck it up, you're doing fine so far.
It's a bloody miracle, I'll tell you what it is. I remember having to do this so many times when I first played Okami, and it drove me potty. Because I was just like, why is this so difficult?
Maybe you should just get good, Rich.
It's because it is. And yeah, I just need to get good.
This dance of Mr. Files doesn't nearly have the same jazziness to it as his clone counterparts does, gotta be honest with you.
I know, it is very disappointing, because what we all want from him is we want the glorious disc scratching that Mr. Orange had. But ultimately Mr. Flower is his poor cousin. Although ultimately I suppose he's doing a better job than Mr. Orange did, because all Mr. Orange was doing was letting us bloom flowers. Mr. Flower is actually curing diseased trees and allowing us to then bloom them, so he's a bit more powerful, but his dance is just, it's just really dull.
Wait, aren't we doing most of the grunt work here?
Well, we are, but he's the one who is curing the trees of their affliction.
Okay. Is this the last one?
This is indeed the last one, so it's a bloody miracle that I managed to make it through this with everything that's going on.
Jesus.
Especially like that. It drove me nuts. Because, like, this just should not. But thankfully that worked. So I was very happy, because despite all of that awfulness, I still managed to beat this side quest. And that makes me incredibly happy.
So what take was that, mate, would you say?
I don't know whether that was it was either the first take or the second.
Not bad.
Like, it wasn't that many tries, surprisingly enough. Which does make me very happy, because otherwise I think I would have probably just dropped the game and just gone, nope, not doing this again for like another few weeks.
Eject disk from Wii, open window, apply disk to air, close window.
Exactly. I mean, obviously I wouldn't do that because I love the game too much. And also, I'm pretty sure it was a Christmas present. So, it was either a Christmas present or a birthday present, I remember that much. But still, now, here we have Yama. And he runs a kitchen, but obviously can't really have much of a kitchen without a fire.
Oh, he's got a kitty face.
Yeah, he's got a kitty face. And actually, I believe that Yama's kitchen has, well, as with everything, his kitchen has a direct relation to a Japanese folktale.
Ah, lore incoming, guys. Get ready.
Well, I will see if I can get the lore, because honestly, I cannot remember where the bloody thing is. I mean, his Japanese... Oh, there we go. So his Japanese name is Yamaneko, which means wild cat. So the Yama means wild, the Neko is obviously cat. But his restaurant is based on the Japanese story of the restaurant of many orders.
You mean a restaurant, then?
No, it's a bit more has a bit more meaning than that.
Well, I'm just saying restaurants get many orders, so it just seems a bit superfluous.
So, ultimately, it's about a restaurant that hates hunters, essentially. So, actually, I will give you proper story time here. Or at least relatively proper story time, because the material that is present here, I believe, comes from Once and Forever, The Tales of Kenji Miyazawa, translated by John Bester and published by Kodansha International. So, Kenji seemed to hate hunters who travelled from the city to shoot animals just for fun. In the story, The Restaurant of Many Orders, it is the hunters who get hurt, caught in a wordy trap by a wildcat. Two young gentlemen who came from the city to go hunting, walking along in the mountains with two white dogs as huge as bears. By afternoon, the two young gentlemen had failed to get any game birds. Worse still, they had strayed from their guide in the middle of the forest. The forest was so frightening that their two dogs howled for a while, then foamed at the mouth and suddenly fell dead. Scared, the two young men decided to turn back, saying, "We can drop in at yesterday's inn and buy a few game birds to take home with us." The city men seemed to think that they could buy anything with money. Unfortunately, they had lost their way. A sudden gust of wind sprang up, and the grass stirred, making them feel even more uneasy. Just then, one of the young men happened to look around and saw a fine brick building with a notice on it saying, "Restaurant Wildcat House." Though finding a fine restaurant deep in the mountains seemed funny, the two were so hungry they went up to the entrance. There they found a glass door with writing on it in gold letters, "Please come in, and no one need have a moment's hesitation." Inside the restaurant there were many corridors and doors. Each door had a strange note on it for the guests. "Plump parties and young parties especially welcome. We hope you'll appreciate that this is a restaurant of many orders. Please leave your guns and cartridges here. Please remove your tie pins, cufflinks, spectacles, purses and anything else with metal in it, especially anything pointed. Please spread cream from the jar all over your face, hands and feet. You must be tired of all these orders, you poor things. This is the last one, so be good enough to take some salt from the pot and rub it in well all over you." At this point the two young gentlemen finally realised that they were the ones who would be cooked. They tried to run out of the room, but the doors won't open.
Oh, jeez.
What's more, they could see two blue eyeballs ogling them through the keyhole. Their faces crumpled in terror. Just then the guide's two dogs, like big white bears, came bursting into the room and saved them. But their faces, which had crumpled like waste paper from fear, never returned to normal again, even after they went back home to Tokyo. And that is the Restaurant of Many Orders.
Jesus, Yama's a fucking psychopath.
Indeed he is. And he's not the only one whose narrative follows that whole shebang.
So, did the gods not punish him for doing this sort of thing? That's not the mark of a good man.
Well, to be fair, Yama's not exactly that wildcat, he's just sort of based on the wildcat, but still.
Oh, the piss poor sun, Richie. If I was the god of the sun, I wouldn't allow it to bloom in the sky.
It's fine. Now, the guy that we talked to get the manifest there, Masu, he's actually based on a Japanese naturalist from the Edo period, Sugai Masumi. And what's really frustrating is that there's a few of these types of things where there is important information, but unfortunately Wikipedia does not have it, despite the fact that the Okami Wikia links to said thing. She's like, oh, for God's sake, but these things happen. And if I recall correctly, so it all makes sense of why he's called Masu and Masumi. His Japanese name is Masumi. Honestly, I cannot remember. I seem to recall finding the thing that told me who he was, but that didn't happen, annoyingly.
Notice we got a pretty sick upgrade to Phoenix power earlier. Do you want to explain how that works exactly?
So basically, it is Inferno, and what you do is you draw an infinity symbol, and you can create fire without needing a source.
That's handy.
Which is an absolute godsend if you are wanting to... how shall I put it?
Burn things?
If you're in a battle against, like, the ice lips, or what have you, then if there is no flame around for you to use, you can use Inferno and get the floral finisher on them. Now, what I'm trying to do right now is daft, because it's not actually going to do anything. Because I think what I was thinking was that I had to set the brazier alight, but when it turns to night time, it's going to be lit anyway.
Oh, Richard.
So this is basically entirely pointless.
Just burning the city down, what the fuck?
It's fine. It'll all regenerate eventually anyway, so it's not like a major problem or anything. And also something that you might not have noticed actually, and something that I hadn't noticed either, is that depending on what weapon you have, the artwork on the menu changes. So we have the exorcism beads right now, and actually when we bring up the menu again, you will see that the artwork visible on it is the one with the exorcism beads, and that's just really awesome actually.
Huh, no, I didn't notice that actually.
To be fair, I hadn't noticed it either. So, yes. Now, I don't know why this won't light. It's really frustrating me. Oh, there we go. All I needed to do was that. How ridiculous. I thought I'd try and be fancy and then it just won't let me.
Oh, Richie, you got too high on reading lore, mate, that your brain just shut down.
Yeah, it's always the way. It's also why, like, I get incredibly distracted from things, because I'm in the middle of doing important lore stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, wait! The part's over and I forgot to talk about that thing. Oh, god damn it!
It happens. You can't fit everything into a single part sometimes, so don't beat yourself up about it.
And also, to be fair, you can't fit everything into a single playthrough. You can try, but there's only so much that any one person can do in terms of research and talking fast enough to fit everything in and all that jazz.
It's the worst on 2D platformer playthroughs, I found.
Oh god, yeah. Because there's often so much to potentially talk about that, but you have like an hour and a half in total, and you're just like, this is not enough. This is definitely not enough to cover everything that could be talked about here.
Yeah.
But anyway, if we talk to this soldier, then he is going to mention Hyazo. Now, Hyazo is a thief, and we need to find him. And to be fair, it's actually going to be quite easy to find him, because he's just located in a rock, so it's not a major problem.
Well, to be fair, if I was hunting for a thief, I'd look under the rocks, not inside the rocks.
Yeah, you see, this is the problem, is that really he needed to be looking inside the rocks rather than under and around. You see, there we go. You've got the artwork of the exorcism beads, which is quite nice. Also, that was me going, for God's sake, Wiimote, frickin' work! Like, my life at this moment in time was just like, no.
Are you sure there just wasn't anything interfering with the signal?
Honestly, yeah, no, there was nothing interfering with the signal. It just was not playing ball. And what's really bizarre is that I think after I'd finished everything I needed to do in Seon City, it ended up fixing itself.
Huh.
And I didn't have a single problem with it again after that.
What the...
So it just bugged out the hell on me.
What is this place?
So, this is the Tau headquarters, and Captain Waka?
Huh.
Apparently he's a captain.
Ah, the Tau troopers. Interesting.
So, Tau, or Dao, as it is actually pronounced, is a Chinese word signifying way, path, route, key, or sometimes more loosely doctrine or principle. So all to do with Taoism. And within the context of traditional Chinese philosophy and religion, the Tao is the intuitive knowing of life that cannot be grasped full-heartedly as just a concept, but is known nonetheless through actual living experience of one's everyday being. And it's fascinating. But here we have something that is even more fascinating. We have the headquarters, and there is some incredibly fascinating stuff going on those screens. Because they do look very much like screens and scrolling screens.
Let me guess, it's just stuff that you'd have to translate, or it's just telling of, like, stuff we haven't learned yet, etc.?
Well, actually, if you look at it carefully, you may recognise a few shapes.
Well, I see a Hydra, I saw a spider back there.
Uh-huh.
That looks like the Crimson Helm, just above the spider.
I think the one above the spider's more blight than anything. But either way, this looks very familiar, and may give you a hint of what may or may not be coming in the future. Now, Abe here has a bit of a problem, because he's lost his mask, and that's bad.
What, is it part of the Tau Trooper uniform or something?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of very important, because it obviously protects their identity or some such.
Well.
But ultimately, we're not going to be able to get that back for a while, because Hayazo has nicked it, because he's nicked a lot of things from around.
Oh, that little Fifi blighter. We'll have to deal with him next time, or in a future part. Goodbye! Goodbye!